because it looks sort of like finished, right? If I look at this side, you see that, and you see this, and you're like, hey, what's going on? This is the correct side, right? Make sure you're making, because once again, of course, if you follow the notches, you will end up with two sides. Make sure when you're doing that little bit, you are ending up with a right and a left sleeve. So this is going to be my right sleeve because that needs to go on the back. I have to make sure I can't use the same thing on the other side. You see that?
How does it go in the back?
That's how it's gonna be. That's gonna be the back of the sleeve. So the
Okay.
placket opening.
So like the bottom part right here.
Here. Underneath. Here.
So it'd
Back
be
of the
facing.
sleeve from here. The placket
So it'd
will
be
be
right
facing
here?
here. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the reason I'm emphasizing on the right side, wrong side is because to do the French seam, we are actually going to work on the right side, like we did for flat and felt. You guys, we're going to put wrong sides together and pin the sleeve
Mhm.
together so that we work on the right side. Okay? So wrong sides together. You're working on the right side. You are also going to do a sample of this for the book. But in the sample, it will really not matter right side, wrong side, because you're doing a muslin. It's just a rectangular piece, both could be whatever. But in the sleeve, remember that you're doing the first seam for front seam. You are doing it on the right side. Okay? Okay. So here's what we're doing. We are stitching it at a 1/4 inch. Okay? So let's start that off. Back stitch and do a 1/4 inch seam. You will typically see French seam being used a lot in women's wear and children's wear, especially with fabrics that tend to fray a lot and are lightweight. Imagine doing a chiffon dress or a blouse and serging on the inside. You want to see the serging through the shirt. It looks so bad, right? So you do a French seam because you want enclosed, you don't want to deal with the fraying and for it to fall apart, and you don't want to serge because it will show through the skin. The whole purpose is defeated. You're working with lace or sheer fabric. You want it to look really neat and clean and discreet and
This is what they do in tailoring when they do that.
yeah. For women's wear, they use a lot of French seam, especially for tailored clothing, like when they're working with sheer fashion fabrics and silks and stuff. But with men's wear, you'll see more flat and felt and top stitching. Obviously not. They don't want feminine looking finish, right? So creating more structure. Okay, so basically this is what is going on. I'm doing it at a 1/4 inch. I think I drifted from a 1/4 inch while I was talking. We'll fix that. And I'm gonna back stitch. Since you back stitch, you can cut your thread down to nothing at both ends. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim just very slightly, okay, not a whole lot, but let's say an 1/8 inch of it is what we're going to take it out, okay? We did a 1/4 inch seam, and both the seam allowances, I'm trimming it off an 1/8 inch. You can use the sleeve board after the trimming is done, so we can press it open and then flip and stitch again at 4th. So I'm going to show you next.
Well, that's the right side.
That's the right side, yeah. So on the right side, you can use the tailor board because that's going to be helpful to lay it on, slide it on, right? And you are going to press it open.
And this is the right arm, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, this is the right arm, and this is the right side as well that we're working on. So in the cool thing, I mean, when you're doing enclosed seams, you're always working on the correct side, and it may seem like what you're working on the wrong side, but eventually you enclose it, so it works out fine. So we're just flattening this out. Do this at the iron table. Press it when you have done it. Don't steam it, just press it. Okay, so here we go. I did the 4th inch seam. I trimmed it down slightly and I'm pressing it open. Okay, then I'm going to get the wrong side out. Okay, the wrong side looks like the right side right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and make sure that it lays like this and stitch again at a 4th inch. So the inside and the outside both will have no raw edges showing. And that's what we mean by self-enclosed seam.
That's kind of easy. I thought it was gonna be a little.
More complicated.
Yeah, I'm gonna sew that down and just put together.
Yeah,
And I'll
these
see
are-
on top.
Yeah, I was like, that's really small.
And once you know these skills, it's like a trade secret.
I love
Very
it.
many people don't know how did you do that, such a neat looking seam. It could be your way of finishing garments that will appeal to your clients or stuff like that.
No, that's
What's
the
it
wrong
about?
side that you're doing now.
Yeah. So now I'm on the wrong side because I did the press open. I could distinctly get hold of the seam and make it lay flat like this. Okay. And then once again, get onto the machine and do a 4th of an inch.
So you'll be in front of that understitch.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you'll be on top of that stitch when it'll all look finished.
Okay. Fabric is tending to bubble easily. You will notice these seams in your very nicely tailored blouses, which are chiffons or laces. And of course, if you're buying, you won't see these kind of things necessarily when you're buying clothes from places that are meant to be disposable fashion, because they're trying to do a quick thing, selling it for much smaller retail price, and so that seasonal fashion, right? Very stuff like Forever 21.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing seasonal fashion. They don't want to put so much effort in the manufacturing because they want to be able to churning up. The churning up needs to
Turn
go
that
down.
part up.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is what the inside looks like. And once we flip it out again, you will see you have a finished look like we're used to seeing on the right side. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, we can trim that out. So that's what we're doing with the sleeve, guys. We're starting off with the 2 rows of basting. It's called basting or gather stitch. Set the dye at 5, pull on it, the shape, tie in and ends off. So be patient with it. Don't cut this open until and unless your binding is all set and you're ready to put it on. We work on this placket and then we do the French seam. So now this is ready to get the cuff on. We'll get the cuff on it after this is done, and then we'll get the sleeve onto the shirt when the shirt is ready. Okay?
Thank you.